This segment is all about selling your business in today's climate. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and the segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals publish to educate consumers, lead their fields, and to leave a legacy. Joining me on this segment is David Greeley with Transworld Business Advisors. David, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients that you help?
Well, our primary focus is the low to middle market in our geographic area. And what that really means is the mom and pop stores and businesses that are in valuation up to $5 million typically is what we're looking at. That low to middle market range is in that $400,000 to $500,000 range, but some do exceed that. We are also, I'm a certified mergers and acquisition professional, so we can certainly do bigger deals in the $10 to $50 million range. But with Transworld Business Advisors, as being the largest business brokerage firm worldwide, we have a lot of resources when it comes to scaling up or down for those particular businesses.
When it comes to business owners, what is their biggest challenge when it comes to selling a business? What do they know? They know how to grow a business, but do they know how to sell a business?
Well, that's a great question. And the reality is simply this, is that people spend 20, 30 years working on their business, growing it, and really being an integral part of the community. But when it comes time to selling, they really don't give it much consideration until they have to deal with a illness or death in the family that really kind of forces them to make that transition. And it's unfortunate because we come in and take a look at a business and can certainly give them the knowledge that they need to know as far as what they have to do to sell their business. And that's really a lot of what we do, is educate business owners in the marketplace, because the first question we'll ask somebody is, well, what do you think your business is worth? And they have no idea. So that's a stepping off point.
So yeah, speaking of, the valuation of a business, are there any myths or misconceptions that a lot of business owners seem to hold that may not quite be true?
Oh, no question. And usually it's third-hand knowledge that's coming their way by others that are telling them, oh, you should be able to get, 2 to 3 times your revenue or whatever. And it's just simply not the case. It is a specific metric that we utilize to determine the value of a business, and more importantly, the valuation methods. There's a few of them that we employ, but we pretty much understand what the value of that business is, and usually what we'll do is we'll put it together with a range that the buyer can choose, or the seller can choose from, in determining what the sale price is, but it's usually predicated on their motivations to sell.
So when it comes to selling a business, are there any big common mistakes that you see business owners make that might prevent their success? What are common mistakes?
Well, the number one is that they hide cash that comes into the business. And we don't work for the IRS, but the best thing a business owner can do to prepare their business for a sale is to really showcase all the revenue that's coming in the door. And that helps them get a better value for the business. As well as, they don't look at their inventory to determine if things are obsolete, if they should, write things off to get them off their books. Those are typical, missteps by owners, but we see a lot.
What about timing? Is there really a good or a bad time to sell a business? And specifically, what's today's climate like in your area, especially after the pandemic?
Well, that's another great question. And the reality is that the average business sale, up until 22, it was about 8.4 months. Well, now it's starting to creep up even higher into the 9 to 10 month range. And the reason for that is varied, but primarily it's the interest rate increases that we've seen. people's difficulty in getting finance to make these deals happen. Um, and we're now leaning more toward the sellers to hold notes on the sale of the business, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. But a lot of sellers have trepidation about that because they're afraid they're not going to get paid, or the individual buying the business might run it into the ground or whatever. And there are safeguards that we employ for some of that. But, by and large, the SBA lenders are actually requiring sellers to hold paper on the sale of their business. So it's evolving.
Fascinating insight. David, what inspired you to get into this field and help business owners sell their businesses? How did you get started?
It was kind of hit or miss. My wife and I, we're both professionals. I came out of the construction world, running construction companies, and my wife has been an accountant for many years. And we kind of stumbled across Transworld. It is a franchise, and we knew that we wanted to own a business. We knew that we wanted most likely to own a franchise because it's a proven business model. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But we landed on Transworld, and there's no better job being able to help people in your own community make these transitions that they would not otherwise know how to do. So we're pretty excited about it, let alone the fact that we get an opportunity to learn so much about so many different businesses and meet so many walks of life. There's never a dull moment with what we're doing here.
Before I ask you my last question, in regards to selling a business in today's climate, is there anything I didn't think to ask you that you think is important to share with business owners?
Yeah, I would say the one thing is, you can't wait to sell your business. You cannot wait until it's dire. You want to explore it at the very least to understand the valuation of your business. Number two is that if you really are intent on selling it, we have programs that we can help you build up your business a little bit so that when it's time to sell, you'll get maximum value for it. And so, we can help people on both sides of that. And we come in, we take it from A to Z. We're going to vet all the buyers. We're going to make sure that the qualified buyers we bring to you have that capability to run the business, let alone pay for it. And once we've brought them to the equation, they'll make the offer and we work the deal. But working through a closing on the sale of a business is not the same as a home, and there's a lot of variables to it that need to be addressed. And to date, we have 100% closure rate to all deals brought to the closing table.
Terrific. And to your point, what's a good timeline? How much time should business owners allot to preparing their business and working with you when they start to think of selling it?
So, we do talk to people that are 1 to 2 years out from wanting to make that happen. And those are good sellers, I should say, that we give them the information, they take the information, they might tweak their business a little bit by reducing some expenses, or absolutely showing the cash flow that's coming into the business, and thereby we can get maximum value for it when it's time to sell.
For business owners listening who would love to speak with you and perhaps get your help, how can they find you and connect with you?
So we are Transworld Business Advisors of Lake Lanier here in North Georgia. We're about an hour north of the Atlanta market. Our website is tworld.com/Lake Lanier. And our phone number is 770-225-2910. And I am at extension 701. You can certainly speak to any of our advisors, and they will certainly steer you in the right direction. And we're happy to talk to anybody. We don't charge anything until we get to the closing table. So unless there's a special circumstance where we have to do an actual valuation for the business for a divorce or whatever, there's a cost associated with that. But we typically don't charge anything until we get to the closing table and actually sell your business.
David, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Well, Mark, I appreciate your time today too, and I look forward to speaking to some of your listeners.
That was David Greeley, with Transworld Business Advisors of Lake Lanier. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get published to educate consumers, lead their fields, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.